toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
In 3, 2, 1.
So, Dave, what was with the little exhale there? Was that like you're finding your space? You're just like...
I'm breathing.
It's like,
I don't know.
Does doing this show stress you out?
Everything stresses me out. Haven't you met me?
Very true.
This light is not bright enough. Anyway, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
I think we're into the show. I don't even think we need
I think we started the clap. Let's just keep going.
We're here. We're in.
We're here.
Oh, we are? No.
Yeah,
Welcome
we
to
are.
the Regular
Just
Joe's
do
podcast.
Do your bit. Just do your bit and let's go. Let's keep running.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
Barry K.
And I'm Todd Pleasant. Let's go. We're with,
know, we're
ladies
being
and gentlemen,
stupid
we are doing this without a net.
It's
So,
that kind of
let's
an
just
S.
As if we have much of a net all the other times. But thank you for joining us. As we sit here, New York Comic Con's a few days away. As you listen to this, we'll be there. We'll be there on Friday. So if you're going, let us know. I don't expect much. You never know.
Yeah.
I expect crowds and smells.
I expect crowds, and we always seem to find one thing that we're like,
No,
oh, that
it's
was worth going
fine.
for, that was worth buying, whatever. So there'll be something.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking, and I remember when we used to go to the Joe conventions, and we'd all sometimes wear the same orange G.I. Joe shirt that
Yes.
made us much. We should pick a good color, because I remember, I think we all wore black last year, and it was very hard to find each other in a sea of black.
That is a good idea. Yeah.
Maybe we just need to get one of those child leashes for Todd, and then we'll be fine.
No, we have the rule, okay? As long as we follow the
do have the
rule,
rule.
we're fine.
Meet at the end of the row, but we do need the right color shirt. Now, I wish I thought about this before. I would have made up some shirts for us. What?
Todd's leaving. Todd said, that's it, I'm out. And now it's the Dave and Barry show.
There you go. Wait,
Oh,
he's
he's
got
back.
something.
Ooh, I don't own a yellow
I don't.
t-shirt.
I don't have that shirt.
But I do, and I'm the one you can't find. So,
No, but we
That's
can't
true.
find. We can't. You really can't wear black. That's the thing.
no,
black
you're
is
you're
like
absolutely
what-
right about that.
You're
But last
basically
year
wearing
we wore
stealth
black, and you
material.
just can't find each other.
I'll try to pick out my most obnoxious shirt I own. We'll see what that
Yeah,
is.
three middle-aged white guys in black shirts at Comic-Con is pretty much like being invisible. So,
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
yeah.
That's pretty funny. So true. Very true.
I'll have to figure something out. You don't have that green Batman shirt, do you? You have the same shirt, Barry, but it's not the lime green one.
No,
that I have, right?
no, I don't
Oh,
have
what
that.
color? Hey, what color are your ape shirts? I have the orange.
I have the orange one. I
I
can't
have the
wear
red
that
one,
shirt. That is
but I think I
so
recently got rid of it.
uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah, it was so uncomfortable I got rid of it.
Okay.
That's a horrible shirt.
Plus,
Honestly, I
mine
have
says
never
the
had-
only
I
good
have never
human
had
is
the
a dead
circumstance
human.
to
I'm not
wear it,
wearing
so-
that to Comic-Con.
No, I've never had the opportunity to wear it. So,
It's no, I don't know what mine says, but I have the orange one, and it's like made out of fiberglass. And it cuts
Okay.
horribly.
No,
Wow.
it feels like it's made out of potato sack. It really is an uncomfortable
It
shirt.
is. It's really bad.
no, I've
yeah.
never. I don't think I've ever even put it on. I washed it once, but I don't think I've ever put it on.
Maybe I'll wear my newest Iron Maiden concert shirt.
Do we all
That's
have a
black.
red
What color is
shirt?
that?
Do we have a red shirt of some kind?
I have several red shirts.
So
All
let's
All right,
do.
I am pulling the plug on this conversation on the podcast.
do we know?
move
Let's.
on,
if you-
please?
Barry, do you have a red shirt you can wear?
I'd have to
I bet
look.
The second most worn color, I bet, is red.
Oh God. Okay, let's move on.
Don't you think? Okay,
Now,
we'll
now I'm
figure
with
it
now
out
I'm with
after the
Barry.
show.
Let's move on. I thought we were close. I thought this was being decided. So
No.
We'll figure it out. Well, let's, hey, whatever. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Check out all our stuff. I'm sure we'll have pictures or something there.
Leave us a review
Figure
on
out all the
iTunes,
stuff.
people. If you haven't already, please leave us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, someone do it this week. Come on, I haven't seen any in a couple of
If you
weeks.
leave a new review, we'll
So-
read it on the show next time.
There you go. Even if you say we suck.
yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
a dramatic reading, no matter what you write. So.
Yes, I can do it
Exactly.
in an exotic accent, maybe.
Okay. Let's go random. Am I forgetting anything? No. Let's go random. Todd, what do you have for random?
Okay. One of the things I'm most excited about right now, and have been, I've mentioned this 2 or 3 times, is there is a period adaptation of War of the Worlds coming out. And the trailer for this just hit. And
Ooh.
you guys need to see this. It is really awesome. Probably, like I said, everything I was kind of hoping for is in this thing, and it's set in the Edwardian era, and which is when the book was written, and really, really good. Very brief, but the best thing in the entire thing is it ends with saying "coming this autumn," and there's been a question on whether when this was going to show up. So apparently, it's very soon.
That's now.
That's
I
what
just
I'm.
have to figure that out.
That's what I'm saying. Well, BBC's very slow to announce when things are going to happen, and sometimes it's just like, oh, it's on now, and really, really cool. So it's anyways.
Oh, so how is it a series or a mini?
It's a mini series, and
He's showing us the trailer
I'm playing it for you.
on a. We'll watch it on our own. We'll just do that.
Something can erupt from Mars and end up in Surrey.
Okay.
Or not.
It's orbiting.
Oh, that looks cool.
There's
That's pretty
nothing
cool.
to be concerned about. They are coming! Ready? Fire!
Wait, what year are you saying it is?
It looks World War I era.
Worlds on
Yeah.
BBC One.
You said Edwardian. No, I'm sorry. When is Edwardian era?
The like 1895-ish, somewhere around there.
Okay,
So
yeah, this
in
looks
the
more
1890s
like
through
1915?
through basically World War One.
Okay.
So very, very cool. It looks awesome. The 3-legged walkers look fantastic.
Yeah. I wonder if it's on BBC America too or no.
We'll see. But I will find a way of watching this one way or another, and I'll share it with you if it's not on BBC America. Because this
I have a way to check that.
this looks fantastic.
But
So.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
So
There you go. Barry, what do you got for random?
So we talked, I think, last show or the show before about NBC's new streaming service, the Peacock Network. I think we talked about the fact that they were bringing back Battlestar Galactica in some way, shape, or form. What I also didn't read until this week was some of the other stuff that they're bringing back, which just makes me scratch my head and say, boy, if this is the best NBC can do, they're bringing back Saved by the Bell,
I
yeah,
heard that.
with Zach as the governor of California, apparently.
Wait, Zach
Zach
which one was
Morris was the main character on Saved by the Bell.
And he's played by who?
Oh, God, I don't remember his name, but...
That Mark Paul Gosselaar
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, that guy, yeah.
I thought he was claiming that he knows nothing about it.
Well, he may not be the actor, but the character.
Oh.
But the other one that
He's
they're
sort of
bringing
the only
back...
one who's got a real career, I think.
Yeah, the other one they're bringing back is Punky Brewster, with Soleil Moonfry playing a grown-up Punky Brewster.
She's actually grown up nicely.
No, she has. She's definitely grown up nicely, but it's just has... Show me the fan community that's been desperately waiting for that to come back.
So
Where
now
are the
that
conventions
Big
for that
Bang
show?
Theory is over, they could also have what's her name, who played Sheldon's girlfriend there, come back as Blossom. They could bring
Blossom.
that back too,
God.
Yeah.
and they could totally revisit the '90s in every bad way. So
I'm all for things, like what Disney's doing with the Marvel and the Star Wars and all the original content. But if the best NBC can do to combat any of that is bring back Punky Brewster and Saved by the Bell, this is going to be a short-lived project.
This is actually this is a perfect segue to my whatever random topic. But we don't have to segue yet.
No,
I'm
that's
with you.
literally all I have to say.
Okay, so
segue
let's
ahead.
back up to Battlestar for just a second. What do you want to see with that? Well, what do you want? I mean, we saw that series, the reboot when it was great. We saw it when it was meh. What can they do? Then they tried to do a spin-off, which was just had
Awful.
no idea what they're doing. What do you want to see them do with it? Because I actually love this show. I really love the show. It ended on a very disappointing note to me. I think there's do you
I
want
would
to
like
see
to
the
see something
Cylon
that
War?
is a.
Don't really want to see anything.
I'd like I to feel like it probably doesn't need to exist, but if they're going to do it, I'd like to see something maybe that was more a combination of the vibe they had with the new series and bringing back some of the elements of the old one, not the cheesy, campy stuff, but I don't know the nostalgia of the original series.
Wars, like 40 years earlier.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
don't want
40
Cylons
years?
to be humans. That we have to imagine that they're robots. Like to me, Cylons should be
And
Cylons.
I honestly think that's the only place they have to go with it. And I've been thinking about this since we talked about it. I think, and I hate going backwards because you're trapped into where you can go with this. But we don't really know a whole lot about the Cylon War. Did you guys watch Blood and Steel? The
yes.
the prequel?
That unwatchable thing, yes.
I don't think that was. No, I'm not talking about Caprica. I'm talking about the.
No, the Blood and Steel wasn't that.
That was like the 2-hour movie that they made, right?
They made in like 10-minute installments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't that good, but there's potential there. I mean, if you went, if you had like good space combat and I don't know, I think there's potential. They left nowhere to go with the way the series ended.
Unless they do, Battlestar 2020 as opposed to
1980.
Galactica 1980.
I mean, they it's not even like a Fear the Walking Dead thing where they could go into another corner of the galaxy because all the humans were together. Like there weren't a lot of humans spread out
they had
across
to go
the galaxy.
backwards. They really do. Although Caprica went backwards, it's
Not far
just
enough.
Okay,
back,
no, I
nothing.
got it, guys. I got it. Okay. This is not a sequel to the 2006 series. This is a sequel to the original series. So think like Galactica 1980, okay? Now, 40 years later, that ship is still orbiting, waiting to come down to the planet. It's like they haven't heard from, what are the names? Dylan and Troy. They haven't heard from Dylan and Troy for like 40 years. They finally send somebody down to investigate. And Randolph Mantooth is still around, right? Barry Van Dyke is still around, I think. Yeah, they basically went native and are still living in Los Angeles somewhere or something. And yeah, no,
They're hairdressers.
and they're hairdressers. It's not watchable. Okay.
And this is the show that's going to be their big marquee draw.
Yeah,
So,
boy, I don't know. I'm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, but so to answer your question, are people going to watch Punky Brewster? I'm just curious about.
Boy, that was not the question I was thinking on. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying the segue.
Yeah.
So last week, was it last week? Last week was premiere week for almost everything except for the CW. So everyone trotted out their new shows, their returning shows, everything. So I was just curious. I saw something on TV, and I'm like, that can't be right. So I looked it up. So the Nielsen ratings, which are nonsense, but let's not get into that right now. But they are the currency whereby people rate television shows, and they
Yes.
decide how much they could charge for their commercials. So anyway, so adults 18 to 49 is like the standard demo that people care about. The first. This amazes me. The first 5 shows in the top Nielsen ratings are football. I don't even conceive of that many people watch football, but I guess they do. The number one non-sports related TV show is The Masked Singer. That's the audience that's going to watch
We're done as a
Punky
society.
Brewster.
So
Exactly.
Yep.
All of our complaining or praising of the nuances of this show or that show, and then most of America cares about The Masked Singer.
Yeah, well, what were some of
That's
the biggest shows of the summer? The Bachelor in Paradise and Dancing with
All
the
that
Stars and all
crap.
that stuff. So
But it's just we are doomed. I mean, that's the stuff. That's the number one non-sports show.
I just sent you a
This is
recent
just-
picture of Punky Brewster.
Crazy. Anyway, does anyone else have any more random? I gotta look at Punky Brewster. Yeah. How old is she now? She's probably 40, right?
Oh, it's got to be, yeah.
I've never seen that show in my life. I mean, that was late 80s.
Yeah, we were already done with kiddie TV shows by the time that came on.
Yeah. I never saw Saved by the Bell either. I mean,
I never.
Oh,
did
I
either.
watched Saved by the Bell all the time as like an after-school thing.
did you?
She's
What's
she's
after-
43.
Oh, okay. She was good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So anyway.
the old dude has been dead for about 15 years, so he won't be
I
back.
didn't even know who else is on it. Was it a robot?
No,
Was
no.
she a robot?
The guy was he was a character actor who was in like a bajillion things, and it was kind of sad, really.
Wasn't there one with a little girl who's a robot? Little Wonder? Small
That's a
Wonder?
totally
Oh my
different
god!
show,
Yes.
dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that the same show?
No, that's not the same show. That was a Disney show, right? Wasn't it?
I don't know.
Or syndicated.
Anyway, talk.
So you're thinking of
Speaking of
Henry
New York Comic
Henry
Con, do you know
Warrant
who's-
was the old
Yes.
guy, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to New York Comic Con. Our pals at Fanboy are literally, as of this morning, waiting online to set up their booth. They sent pictures. If you're following their Facebook feed, I was like, really? They're
Well, if you think about it, the show opens Thursday. They've got and their booth takes a long time to set up because it's so damn cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of setup. So they are if you're at New York Comic Con, they're at booth 2937. We'll certainly stop by, so make sure you stop by there. They will have tons of stuff. They do pack their booth full of tons of statues and pops and hot toys and sideshow and cheap Spider-Man masks.
Items
and
in all
kinds of
price
good
ranges.
stuff.
So don't be intimidated if you think it's all super high end expensive stuff because it's not.
They got everything. So
Yeah.
if you're not going to New York Comic Con, check them out online, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, except for this week. Tell them the regular Joe sent you. You know, another thing, our pal Tom Spina's company, Regal Robot, is having a sale for Triple Force Friday. I'm making air quotes. That starts October 4th, which is Friday, as you are probably listening to this. So from Friday until October 6th at 12 midnight Pacific time, there's 20% off all Star Wars art and decor and 15% off select Star Wars furniture. So check those guys out at regalrobot.com. Tell them the regular Joe sent you that to them too. Okie dokie.
What was that?
I'm just thinking of what to go with next.
His voice
My
just
thinking.
cracked. It was hilarious. It was like you were 13.
You know what I looked at? The trailers came out. Speaking of the War of the Worlds trailer, so the Birds of Prey trailer came out, and I'm sitting here in sort of a rare positive mode of like, maybe this will be good. I'm hoping I'm going to watch this trailer and maybe I'm going to be interested in this. And I watched the trailer and I definitely wasn't interested in it in the first 60 seconds of a 2-minute trailer. And then of course Rosie Perez comes on and then I just all hopes and
favorite.
dreams of
She was
are
the
just
original
trash.
one on the list, wasn't she?
She is one of the original ones on the list. But I gotta say, this thing, I'm really not happy about Ewan McGregor. I'm glad he's coming back, but you're in this piece of crap just because you're dating this girl. Dude, go back to your family. That's all I gotta say. But did you guys see this trailer?
No, I wouldn't watch it because I know it's going to be crap. Not that I'm not
I
interested.
will probably go see the movie. I will say. So,
Why?
I-
It really.
They're starved for
the TV
entertainment up in
series
Massachusetts,
from
Dave.
whenever it was, looked better than this. It just looks really not good. I was hoping it would be good.
It takes a while for the good entertainment to make its way to Greenfield, so, when there's nothing else to watch, you go see Birds of Prey.
I remember seeing trailers for Suicide Squad and thinking, this could be a lot of fun. And it turned out that every decent thing in Suicide Squad, and many things that didn't make it into Suicide Squad, were in that trailer. Maybe this is the reverse. Maybe they got a good movie and a bad trailer. We'll see. Could be something new they're trying.
It could be.
They've got a director who's never directed anything other than shorts. I think maybe one movie. They've got Rosie Perez, and they've got Ewan McGregor, who's a real actor, just there because his girlfriend's in the movie. It's not a good recipe.
Okay.
It's really not a good recipe.
And they've got Margot Robbie. So
I like Margot Robbie.
you do.
She's
You do.
better
I think
than
that
this.
should offset everything for you. But anyways, I will see it and get back to you on that.
All right. Well, it's not till February, but
Yeah.
you got time.
Yeah.
You got time on that one.
Yeah.
Barry,
What
you
else
had
are you
something
down
you were
on,
going to
Dave?
say?
Yeah, well,
And we mean down literally. What else?
I have not. I want to talk about something, and I'm curious your thoughts. Now, I have not read this book. I've only read excerpts, but Bob Iger has his new autobiography out. I guess it was in the last week or so.
Yep.
The book is called The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And he has an entire chapter on the acquisition of Lucasfilm. Now, I don't necessarily feel bad for a guy that got $4.1 billion, but from the excerpts I've read, and again, I'm going to be honest, it's not fair for me potentially to judge this book. I have not read the full thing. I've read excerpts, but it sounds like they really played Lucas. Now, again, I'm not saying I feel bad. He got $4 billion out of this deal. But it also sounds like George was George was used to running his own company, non-publicly traded, doing his own thing. It sounds like the deal, like Iger approached him 6 to 9 months earlier. George said he wasn't ready to sell. George got back to him like 6 or 9 months later and said, "All right, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it." Sounds like the deal fell apart twice. One time Disney walked away. Second time Lucas walked away. And what really pushed the deal through was there were tax law changes where if Lucas had held the company and sold it after a certain date, he was going to take a $500 million tax hit that if he sold it before that, he wouldn't take. So they really expedited the process and rushed to get the deal done to save him from taking that $500 million tax hit. But he apparently tried to negotiate the deal in a way that he would sell the company and retain control over Star Wars, which of course they were never going to let him do. So that was
and
shouldn't.
anyway.
Again, no judgment. I agree.
No, but I'm
And
just
that's-
saying, it's like that's not how it works. You don't go to a car dealership and say, "I'm going to trade in my car. I'd like to come back and get it on Friday and continue to drive it." That's not how it works.
Well,
I know
some
George
don't,
Lucas
but
lives in
so
a
that's
world.
what-
That's why
George
the deal
Lucas
fell
lives in
apart
a
the
world where
first time.
everyone does what George Lucas wants him to do, or what wants to do, and tells him every idea he has is gold plated. But that's not reality. Reality
Well,
is
so-
when
so
you
let me-
sell
let me
your
continue
shit,
telling you about the
still
story,
can't
though.
play with it.
No, I get it. And apparently Iger was very upfront with him, saying there's no version of this deal in which you remain in control of the company. So
And yet he signed. He signed.
So then Lucas apparently appoints Kathleen Kennedy while they're negotiating with Disney, never telling Disney that he's hiring somebody to take his place and run the company, brings her in and doesn't tell her that he's in the middle of negotiating to sell the company. So he gives her the job. She takes the job not knowing that he's in negotiations with Disney from the excerpts I've read. And then, so presumably so that when the sale goes through, he would have somebody who was on his team running the company and would potentially...
but they can get rid of her anytime they
Well, they
want
could,
it, unless
but they would have had to buy her out. I'm sure she had a nice deal as part of Lucasfilm.
Did he? Well, that's the important thing. Did he structure her deal that, her out clause is some crazy thing,
Probably.
and that's why she's still there?
So
how
then
much
all
could
that
we
went down.
Unless it's $1 billion, get rid of her. But anyway.
It sounds like he wanted a better deal. He wanted more for the company than they evaluated it to be worth. He wanted the Pixar deal, which was over $7 billion. They had just bought Marvel at $4 billion, and they decided to give him slightly higher than what they paid for Marvel. So it was like $4.1 billion. And in all of this, while Iger was telling him that the company is just not worth what you think it is, and Pixar had 6 movies in development at the time we acquired them, which made them more valuable, he miraculously pulls out, I've got drafts for episodes 7, 8, and 9 that I've been working on, which there was no mention of up until the point where he couldn't get the money he wanted. It just sounds like it. Again, it's Bob Iger's memoirs, so I'm sure it's how unjaded his version of the story is. Who knows? But I just found it to be.
It sounds like he's trying to say what a cool dude he was, that he kind of pulled it off. But
then he was also apparently kept throughout the whole thing, just saying the last thing we wanted to do was insult or upset George. But then apparently there was the fateful meeting where he thought up until this point, now the sale's already gone through, he thinks they're working on, because they paid him for his story treatments, he thinks that they're working on his versions of episode 7. And they have a meeting at Lucasfilm that Iger chooses not to show up to, which is Kathleen Kennedy, JJ, Michael Arndt, who was the guy that was screenwriting, and Lucas, and they start telling him the story, and within the first minute he's like, wait a minute, this isn't my story. And apparently Iger says in the book, I probably could have handled that better. I probably should have given George a heads up in advance of that meeting that we weren't making his movie.
Yeah, but again, this isn't my anything at that point. Okay? It was like, he can give him his notes in the back of a napkin, he can give him whatever they want. He sold it. Okay?
But he sold it with the clause that he was going to be a creative consultant, and they quickly edged him out of that role.
Yeah.
When you're 70 and you're
what consultant means? Consultant means is you're listened to if it's in their advantage to listen to them. Okay? Consultant doesn't mean it. He wasn't a partner. He was a consultant. And it's like, yeah, thank you. That was great.
But you got to remember, and I'm not justifying, but in his mind, Star Wars were synonymous, and I think he thought,
sold it.
How can they go forward? Right. Well,
that's what
don't sell. But he got,
or you know what? Say, how about this? You're going to give me $4 billion? Give me $2 billion and let me stay in the driver's seat. Okay. Could have done that too. Okay.
He's going to donate the money anyway.
He went for
the
big check. He went for the big check. And then, had all these expectations which weren't based in reality. And you can't tell me that George Lucas couldn't hire a lawyer. Okay, I
really would like to read at least this full chapter of this book.
I think I would be interested in reading that too.
That's the thing. If he wanted to be in control of Star Wars, he could have kept the company and
he could have not made the prequels.
He could have made his own deal.
Yes,
his own. Okay, I'm going to step back, and he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the $4 billion. He doesn't need anything.
No, and he could have done what he did with Fox for the second 2 original trilogy movies. He could have made them himself and had Disney distribute them if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I'm a fan of Bob Iger at all. I don't know anything about the guy, but I'm sure anyone who runs a company like that has got to be a tool. So,
there's no way you get to that level of success without knowing how to manipulate and do the things you need to do to get the deal you want.
He should have never sold. Honestly, I'd be curious to see what his versions of these movies were. I can't imagine they'd be great.
No, I would love to read the treatment, which we'll probably never get an opportunity to do. Apparently, there was also a clause that they wanted him to sign that said he would not disparage them in any way, and he refused to sign that. So, which is why 6 months after the sale, he called them white slavers in an interview with
Moyer.
Greg Moyer.
White slavers don't give you $4 billion. They really don't. It's just that's just shows
he
how
did
disconnected
apologize
from reality
for that
this
statement
guy is and always has
after
been.
the fact.
But
I still have nothing but love for George Lucas.
Okay. that's good. That's good. I'm sure he feels the same way about you, Barry.
But he does. He loves every penny I've paid into his empire.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, every one of those. Yep. Again, none of these things are ideal. I will say I'm not sure that was money well spent for Disney at this point. We will see in the long run how it pans out for them. But
well, with Kevin Feige stepping in at least for a movie, and who knows, maybe more.
That is a Hail Mary play of Hail Mary plays.
I agree, and I wonder if that means that the Benioff and Weiss
makes them out to be.
The Benioff and Weiss stuff might be dead in the water.
Nothing they have said is going to happen is absolutely certain to happen. I guarantee you.
I'm not up on those guys either. I mean,
no. After how they killed Game of Thrones in the last 2 episodes, yeah. It is not.
I feel differently about that. I feel that was theirs to do. It may not be what we wanted, or anyone for that matter, but hey.
Well, it was Lucas's to do what he wanted with episodes 1, 2, and 3, and look at how many years we've gotten out of talking how, what he did wrong there.
Right.
Game of Thrones, well, actually, I would say the last 3 episodes, to me, it went off the rails, but especially that one where you couldn't see anything. But
yeah. But you want to hear, that's the biggest issue. Those guys have the potential to make great entertainment. We all know that. There's obviously seasons and episodes of Game of Thrones that are amazing. But the problem is everyone's left to their own device. We're back to the same conversation we had last week about Kevin Feige. There is no person producing all this stuff. That's the thing. You guys, they're basically like, okay, here's the keys. Go make a Star Wars movie. That's almost what it feels like.
If they said tomorrow,
and that's a mistake.
If they said tomorrow that they're going to walk Kathleen Kennedy out to the parking lot with a box and bring in Kevin Feige, I would feel completely different about this. I really, really would. Okay, but right now this is okay. Well, we'll let you play in our sandbox because you're shitting gold right now, and hopefully some of that will rub off. But this is not a new direction. This is not this is.
Oh no, I'm saying, but you know what? Put freaking what's his face? He probably doesn't have the. Who's the guy with the cowboy hat? Dave Filoni. Put him in there.
No, but he doesn't. But when you partner him with Jon Favreau, you do. You've got what you need.
What I'm saying. Again,
now you do. But Filoni on his own can't do it.
Yeah,
him and a Favreau. That's a good. That's a good combo.
Boy, that would be. I would have so much confidence in them. Probably, I will feel even more so after November. But, yeah. Dave Filoni to me is the one person in that whole pantheon of people who I truly believe has kept the faith. He has been truer to who those characters are, okay, and built on it, created on it without ruining anything that came before him, okay. He's been respectful and added to it.
But you know why that is? Because he has a healthy respect for what George did, but has the ability to look past it and say, here's what we should have done differently, here's what we should have done better.
And not, I will improve upon this. I do not think
or
this
not, I want to do something the total opposite of what he did.
I want to maintain this. His idea is not to outdo anybody. I don't know. I don't see a tremendous ego manifesting itself in him. I think he's
not at all.
Super respectful of the work and wants to build it and make a continuing thing. And I'm God, I hope I'm not disappointed in Mandalorian, but I'm really excited for this. I'm far more excited for the Mandalorian. This occurred to me the other day than I am for the next film. I really am.
I know a lot of people that feel that way.
The Mandalorian included. To me is the future. Is the future of Star Wars, as bizarre as that is. Okay. Whereas this other is just a please don't screw it up.
But you know what? Mandalorian also has the same thing going for it that Rogue One did, that it still feels grounded in a familiar Star Wars that we grew up with, and not something new that's totally different and maybe doesn't feel quite as authentic.
Yeah, and I think they've got good runway. They've got a lot of tools to play with.
The 10 minutes we saw,
Yeah, and then the additional footage that we got in the trailer that they released a couple of weeks back at D23 was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I trust. I mean, hey, I trust Jon Favreau. He wouldn't be sitting right. His head wouldn't be sitting right here.
That's right. I agree entirely.
But again, I Dave Filoni I don't know the dude. I've seen him in person and I've seen him on TV. I don't think he's got and I'm not I don't, maybe he doesn't have the killer instinct needed to really run the company, but I think he's got the creative instinct. If you pair him with somebody who's a little savvy, you got...
He's got a couple things going for him. He's got the creative instinct. He also is extremely steeped in Star Wars mythology. Even before he ever came to the company, he was one of the guys that read all the books and knew everything. And then he got to work directly with George for almost a decade. And you put all that stuff together, and he gets to pull from the best of all of that. And he's, I mean, Clone Wars and Rebels are some of the best Star Wars that have been made.
There are moments in those series, and I'm saying moments, but there are moments in those series that stand up to anything that has the Star Wars name on it and are unparalleled too. Agreed.
But the problem is they're not doing that. They're not hiring, like, this is the producer who's in charge of Star Wars. They have Kathy Kennedy, who's the person who's running Lucasfilm, and she's letting people produce their own stuff.
Yeah,
not a good idea.
There's been a couple of announcements where people are moving from people associated with Mandalorian are moving to the Obi-Wan project. Directors.
The
and whatnot.
woman is directing it.
Yeah, so that's very promising to me. So,
well, and you said it before, Todd, but I wouldn't be surprised if after Episode 9 comes out and they let it, when we get to the spring, if we see that they've, Kathy Kennedy maybe moving on to something different. I'm not even saying she's leaving Lucasfilm or that she's leaving Disney, but maybe she moves on to something different. And I'm not saying Feige takes over, but maybe this is a first step towards that eventual outcome of them making changes. And then maybe, look, Disney's a smart company, like them or not. They've got to have realized some of what they're doing wrong here.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you took Filoni, JJ, and Favreau and made that the triumvirate, how would you feel about them running everything?
Yeah.
And maybe with Feige helping oversee it from a executive production standpoint?
I don't even think you need him at that point.
I
but
think the three of them. JJ's got to me, JJ as a producer.
Basically, there's three middle-aged white guys here putting three middle-aged white guys in charge. But still,
okay, bring me someone better. If
that
it's
makes me happy.
I think honestly,
kid, that's fine. I don't
those
care.
those are the three people that I have confidence in right now.
But you've got JJ is a producer and the director, but he's primarily a producer. Favreau is primarily a director, and to me, Filoni is primarily, again, like a creative sort of mastermind. The three of them together, I think it's an amazing idea.
And they could potentially mentor people and bring them in and take them under their wing versus, hey, you've made a good, independent film. Here's $100 million. Go make a Star Wars movie. That's what they've done up to this point.
Yeah.
So if they bring people in and mentor them,
they I've said this a dozen times. I'm going to say it again. They need to follow the Marvel model. They need to have a roadmap.
They totally do.
They need to have a roadmap. They need to say, this is where our story begins. This is where our story ends. What are you going to do in the middle of it? What are you going to put in for a narrative in between? And that's what the Marvel movies have done. And that's what they need. They need continuity. And the other thing, too, and I say this over and over again, is we need to get a timeline people can follow. So it's there needs to be a way of just, like I said, of staging this so that people know where and when this happens. And I think, I don't know whether everything will be in the past after the Skywalker saga ends.
It's a long, long time ago.
I mean, yeah, it's
time ago.
It just, yeah. We'll see.
You know what, though? There's also no... I mean, we don't know where these characters all end up, but I think it's a safe assumption, anyway, to say that Daisy Ridley and Rey come out of this on the right side of the Force and alive. So there's nothing saying that character can't come back, or that her and other characters from this saga couldn't come back and continue the story. I think they should give it a break, but 5 years from now, if they go back and they make episode 10, no problem with that. Assuming that 9 isn't a train wreck.
yeah, I'm not going there. So,
Speaking of Jon Favreau, have you found the appropriate body? I know you've been doing a lot of pop research.
I have not yet, but that's what I'm doing. And I will say, I think the appropriate body for him looks too much like the JJ one. You know, he's but yeah, I'm working on it. So
Todd has designed Funko Pop's versions of all three of us.
yeah, in fact, it'll probably be our episode header for this week. So we'll see. But maybe even I'll put it on the handout that we hand out at New York. So so question, as we're still in the in the mouse neighborhood, ABC this week or last week, Stumptown premiered. Did you guys watch it?
I did.
Yes.
I will tell you, I was very much looking forward to this show. I really like.
He's going to say how he loves the comic. This is the next thing he said. I love the comic.
I very much love the comic that Greg Rucka wrote that this is based on. Okay.
How is it a comic? It's a cop show.
It's a detective story. It's a cop. Well, read the comic, okay? I'm telling you.
No, I don't want to.
This is 5 episodes, 5 issues that they crammed into this single episode. The storyline in the first 5 episodes, and there's been 3 series of 5 issues, 3 series of 5 issues throughout this series. They told this entire story in 1 episode, and then crammed other shit into it too. Some of that shit needless. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I like her. I think
it was okay. It was. I mean, in the sort of barren wasteland of television these past couple of weeks, it was better than watching The Masked Singer.
Yeah,
but,
I like her as an actress, and I thought she was good in it.
It really reminded me of that other show that I can't remember the name of, that I didn't remember the name of last time.
Whiskey Cavalier.
Cavalier.
It was better than that. But I will say they just crammed a lot of shit into this pilot. I don't know. We'll see.
Yet, if you're not reading the comic, it seemed pretty simple though. There wasn't that much to that episode.
But think of all the characters that they established in there. You know, they get the brother, they get the bar guy, they get the cop. You know, the Indian woman. That whole get that whole tribal thing in there.
And that whole family.
It was not a simple story. And then they added,
so.
completely not from the comic, they added the backstory of her in Afghanistan with the guy who is the young girl's
father of the kid that gets kidnapped. Yeah,
don't know why that was in there. That's not in the story, and it didn't seem to make a difference.
Set up
other
for
than
why
that,
she has the abilities to be a private detective.
Well, it did, but his part in it, the affair that they had or whatever, that didn't seem to impact the story in any way other than like she's more guilty. I almost feel like this is like a depowered Jessica Jones in some ways.
Yeah, I totally got that.
Okay. I will also say, and I just want to go on record as this, okay, in the comic, she has a 60s Mustang. I do not approve of the 80s Mustang. I'm a traditionalist.
I never liked that version of the Mustang anyway.
And that was the worst version of the Mustang.
Second worst. Mustang 2.
You're right. Honestly, let me ask you a question. If I offered you a Mustang 2 or that Mustang, which would you take right now? I would take the Mustang 2 because it's so crappy. It's cool. You wouldn't
you
wouldn't take the Farrah Fawcett Cobra.
Yeah, you might have me there.
That had like 100 horsepower.
Yep.
I would totally take that.
There was basically a Pinto or a Maverick in another skin. Yeah. Oh my God, I audibly laughed when that car showed up in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. When the flashback, when they're driving. And he's in that car. Kurt Russell's in the car with with Star-Lord's mother. I laughed when that car was on screen. It was just, it's that bad. So, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that plays the bartender was in
New
what
Girl.
was that other show? New Girl with Zoe Deschanel, and he was a bartender in that too. So
And he's
typecast.
always pretty much plays that character. He was in one of the Jurassic movies.
he was
right?
in
Or
the
two.
first Jurassic World. Yeah,
Yep. And yeah, and again, I'm glad they kept in the element of her brother. That's significant to the story. We'll see. And the other thing too is we've really learned that as we've focused on these things more, you can't look at a network pilot and judge the series based on it, because this is what the pilots tend to be very dumbed down, because this is what they're using to sell it, and it's just like Sledgehammer. Here's this, boom, 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 boom. They try to get everything into that first thing.
I'll watch another episode and give it a try. I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to do
I'd
that
watch
too,
it again.
because again, I really like her.
There's nothing much else on, really.
no,
right
and that's
now,
the thing.
anyway.
But I'm actually getting comfortable when there's nothing on, finding other things to do, and not forcing myself to watch crappy TV. So
Yeah, so
we're about to be inundated with a lot of other stuff hitting, though. Right? All the
There
CW stuff's
is.
going to start back up.
I'm gonna throw one out there that I think you guys should try, at least watch, and that is Evil, okay, it's the Michael Coulter from Luke Cage, and then Katja Harbers, who is the Man in Black's daughter in Westworld. I watched that just to try it. It was for a pilot. It was very, very good, and she's like a behavioral psychologist who gets paired up with this guy who works for the Catholic Church, investigating anomalies to figure out whether they're legitimately miracles or possessions or things like that. I think
sounds familiar too.
it was really well done. I was very, very surprised, and I'm actually, she was terrific. He was also very, very good, and yeah, I think that it's promising. So
I watched that prodigal son, whatever. It was good. It was interesting.
what is that?
It's the one on Fox where the guy is sort of an FBI profiler and his dad is a serial killer.
Oh, right, yes.
And I guess the guy, it's Jesus from Walking Dead.
Okay.
Is the guy. Tom Paine is the main guy. I gotta say, it's interesting, especially that it's Fox, that he's the lead character. He's got a world of issues. I mean, it's not like he's got crazy flashbacks and night terrors and all kinds of. I mean, you've got a very damaged lead character, which is sort of a stretch for your basic network thing. And then Michael Sheen is the father. He's basically like locked up like Hannibal Lecter somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting. So he's
And
actually
you
still
can't go wrong
present.
with Michael Sheen. Barry, why is that?
because he was married to what's her name, Celine.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah,
Yes,
Kate Beckinsale.
exactly. No,
So-
but he's good. I've liked him in everything he's been in.
Yeah. So,
too.
would you recommend watching it?
I would say watch it. Yeah, I've only watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one, but it's here's the problem. I think here's the problem with all these shows. You feel like, is it going to be the same thing every day? Like, are you going to really capture a new serial killer every single day, every episode? And we'll see.
They do on Blind Spot.
I think
they
the
always,
test
they
of
always
these is like
save the
6
day at the end of every
episodes.
episode there.
That is one of the things that I wonder, will network TV ever catch up to some of the other shows in doing that, where they still really resist being episodic, really resist the trend to do arcs versus more episodic things.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they need to. They really need to. Just wrapping stuff up.
Yeah,
in one
but it
episode.
there
hurts
seems to be-
syndication. Syndication is hard when they're not bottled.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
does
but
syndication
you
matter
wanna know-
anymore? I mean, syndication.
Not for
I think,
hour-long
I think
dramas.
syndication was killed by streaming services. I really do.
Yeah.
But there's never been a market for dramas in syndication, really. It's not like comedies. It's all. I mean, obviously,
Right.
look, Seinfeld just made another $500 million selling
Crazy.
it again.
Seinfeld
Yep.
and Friends are like cash machines, but
And The Office now too.
The Office, yeah.
Office. I could watch Big Bang every single time it's on. It's just easy to watch.
Yeah.
I can watch all those shows, but there's almost no syndicated
Right.
dramas that work.
Hey, you want to do some real-time reaction stuff here? So, listener Doug Monroe sent us a message on Facebook a few minutes ago
Okay.
Oh, sure.
with a link.
Let's wrap
to,
up with that.
Yeah, a
We'll
link
wrap up
to
with
an
Doug.
eBay auction because he knows we like Battlestar, and we were just talking about Battlestar. There's a guy who claims to have worked at Mattel in the 70s and 80s, selling a prototype Battlestar Galactica ship. It's 22 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 4 inches high. Says that this was a prototype, first shot. They decided it was too expensive, never produced the toy. He's got a buy it now price of $36,500 on
Oh
this
my
thing.
god.
It's an interesting looking toy, though, and it
I'm not
clearly
going
looks
to
like
a
it was-
dime over 38,000. I'm just saying it right
How
now.
long is it?
It's 22 inches long. I'll send you guys the
It's
link
not that long.
if you want to take a look at it. But I mean, it's a cool looking toy. It looks like it was meant to have all kinds of like lights and sounds and features. And if you read the description here, the guy is saying that it was deemed too expensive to produce, and that's why they didn't make it.
Now, do you remember the Battlestar Galactica toys that
Yes,
were
because
produced?
I'm a couple of years younger than you guys. I do remember them.
Well, I will say
shot one down my throat and choked on it, and that's why
You're
I'm
the
a
reason we
billionaire.
didn't get rocket firing Boba Fett?
yeah.
Yes.
So I got to say those were kind of funky. I have actually thought a couple times about finding those because they had a number of ships that weren't in the show.
Yeah.
And they were like modular. You could pop the the front end off the ship, and then they had like a long narrow ship that had the front end snapped on, and then they had like a like tractor kind of wheeled vehicle that the front end snapped on.
Yep.
And I remember
also
like
had this-
seeing these toys, and actually in one case buying these toys and like waiting through the series for them because like the ground vehicle was called a Scarab, which made perfect sense, and they had a quasi Egyptian theme, and like they just pulled this shit out of their ass. I mean, they just
They had a really
completely
cool
made this
toy
up.
that launched. It was a handheld launcher that launched foam Vipers.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
cool. That also,
Yep. And the yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this thing looks. Look at the pictures. It looks like it could have been a cool toy.
It does look cool. It does look very much like the thing.
Yeah, but
Oh,
36 grand. Yikes! Thanks for sending that, Doug. By the way,
yes, thank you, Doug. Okie dokie. So, we're going to be in New York Comic Con. I have a last thought on New York Comic Con. Does anyone else have a last thought? Barry?
no, I
I love the way Todd.
This
are
was
you
a
listening
stream
to
of
this?
consciousness show. I got all my last thoughts
Wait a
out.
minute.
No.
Wait a minute. Are we
week-
done?
Last week.
Wait a minute.
he
We're at
was-
last thought now.
Yeah, it's 52 minutes.
Okay, we didn't do any segments or anything.
Yeah.
Well, you got a
Okay.
segment you want to do? Throw it out as your last thought.
I have what's in a box sitting here. I got like all kinds of stuff sitting around me. I got
To your figure, Todd.
Yeah.
This is just one
Open
of
up
those
your
things.
figure. You said
Okay,
you had a
sure.
All I'm
Okay.
saying is when I say
wait,
last thoughts,
the week-
he doesn't have it. When I don't say it, he does have it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't know we were
Okay.
ending.
But that's why you always have to ask, Dave, because I might actually have
Apparently
one
So, okay,
at some point.
hang on. I'm gonna move
Todd,
myself.
do you have a last thought about a figure? You
I
wanna
don't
show
have a
us?
last thought. I have a first thought about this. So, this was a figure that I bought and ordered. Oh God, probably almost a year ago, and it came in during the first week of school, and I like opened the box and said, "Oh yeah, it's that." Totally forgot it existed, and during one of my moments of oxycodone fueled cleaning last week, because that's what it does to me. I sleep for about 4 hours and then wake up and like clean because my mind's on overdrive. Anyways, I find this box that's been sitting here in a box since the last week in August. Now, this is a figure based on a show that I was very interested in at the time
Oh boy.
and have not gone back and even watched the last season of. And so This is the Miss Jones figure, which I'm opening for the first time. And it's a knockoff Jessica Jones figure because we know for a fact that there'll never be a legit Jessica Jones figure. Okay.
From that picture that you just showed us, it doesn't look like the face looks anything like her, but let's see.
Well, she's got
She had a bag on her head.
She's got a bag on her head. That's unfortunate.
That looks nothing like her.
I
like Kate
disagree. It
Beckinsale.
looks kind of nothing. Yeah, it looks nothing like her. So,
Looks like a good outfit, though.
the outfit's good.
Those are like Barbie looking clothes. They're super clean and very cartoony looking.
Yeah.
Does she come with a bottle?
She got a good camera bag.
Okay.
She doesn't carry a camera bag.
She does, and there's a camera.
She come with like a
Yeah.
bottle of whiskey or something?
There's no bottle of whiskey. I might get one of those. Boy, you know who she looks like? Remember the what is the actress's name? That quasi replaced Scully in the X-Files. That's kind
Oh, I know you're talking
right.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Hope you
kinda
didn't
who
pay
she
too
looks
much
like.
for that.
What's that? It was like
I hope
$80.
you didn't pay too much for it.
No, it was like $80 on pre-order.
Okay.
I will sell.
yeah, you
this.
got what you
Okay.
paid for.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, Dave, did you watch the last season?
I watched the last thing. It was fine.
Was it okay?
Just like the other 3 seasons.
Okay.
Nothing.
That figure looks like
groundbreaking.
very generic brunette female figure.
It kind of looks like Jeanette. Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
You know, it does look like one of those side, not those, not side girls, but the blue box,
Yeah.
basic female.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's maybe
I
a
think I
little
used
little
that
better
one
done,
for-
little better done than that, but yeah, it's
We used that in our Regular Joe's strip when what's her face was running for president or vice president.
Yes.
That girl. Remember that one?
Right,
That-
yes,
that
I
looks
do
like the
remember.
head.
Yep. Yes, the candidate. I remember that episode.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, that was totally not of any consequence, but
But now you have something to post a picture of for this week.
I have something to post a picture of. So
Well, you can put that Battlestar Galactica thing up. I don't know if we talked about this, but you know that Eagle Moss made a Doomsday machine?
I did talk about this, and you said you were going to buy one.
They're selling. Someone's got it. I don't know why they're claiming it is a booth exclusive, but at Comic-Con, someone's got it as an exclusive,
Okay.
which is weird.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the exclusives. Was there anything worthwhile?
Yeah.
There is a lightsaber pin for episode 9 from that Toys NK.
Okay.
There's an Avengers Endgame's Iron Spider pin. That was it, and the Doomsday machine.
So one of the
Doomsday Machine could be fun.
yeah, I want that anyway. I want that one way or another. I want that. The other thing
Well,
that
Eagle Moss is at booth 737.
the Eagle Moss thing that they're making, and I'm not sure whether it's out yet. I haven't looked at the site for a while. If you have a VPN, if you look at the British site, you get to see things about 3 months in advance. So that's one of my tips. But in the Discovery collection, that they're having all the ships from Discovery, which is really Klingon heavy right now. They're actually making the tardigrade creature. I totally want that. The little subatomic creature. I think that'll be great. So I'm going to put that in the shelf.
There's a lot. I'm looking at this now. There's a lot of Star Wars pins as exclusives.
Oh, there's a ton. You'll be looking through that for 20 minutes. It takes forever.
And there's nothing good.
I mean, nothing that I saw. So anyway, again, if you're going to New York Comic Con, hit us up. Next week we'll talk about that. Hopefully there'll be something of consequence there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Any new last thoughts that may have come up?
No. New York Comic Con is always the show that we go to, and I always go at the end of it, maybe this will be the last year I go, and then we go again every year the next year. So
think
I
we gotta
feel
go
that
with no
I feel like we
expectations.
always manage to find something. As you said earlier, we always manage to find something interesting. So
yeah, it's true.
We
And I get
walked
to
away
see you
with a lot
guys,
of
and
stuff
that's what
last
makes
year.
it fun.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I will give probably one of my favorite things there was being there totally randomly when IDW had their oversized artist edition of the Manhunter, the Walt Simonson backup story from the 70s, which is one of my favorite things in comics of all times. And they reprinted it, and I had no idea they were reprinting it. I saw this thing as they were taking them. I was just there at the moment that they're taking them out of the box. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I totally need one of these. And they said, well, come back at 2 and Walt Simonson will sign it for you. And awesome. Unbelievable. One of those things that
I remember
only-
that day because I remember that was one of the times we had no idea where you were.
Yeah, I went out of my mind. I was the first person in line, and I have his autograph on it, which is half a page big, and it's one of my most treasured things. And again, totally had no idea that was going to happen until I was standing there at that moment. So, yeah, very cool. Yeah,
Cool.
good things. Good
So-
things can happen. So
I remember when we
Good
saw
things
Evangeline
came
Lilly, and I got all excited, and then I ended up.
I
not getting
remember
autograph.
that too. Yes.
Sean Young is going to be at somebody's booth.
Oh, I
just
saw that.
read.
Yeah, she's not even in the autograph area. She's at a booth.
Yeah.
Kristen
We have
Huey's
her.
gonna
If
be
I
at
didn't have
somebody's
her, I
booth,
would
too.
get her, but we have her. Or at least Todd and I have her, I think, right?
Yeah.
I met Sean Young years before you guys did.
Didn't she have a restraining order on you? Or
No,
was that,
no, I was at a
was
a
that-
work conference, and she was at some network's booth signing autographs. And I have a Polaroid of me and her together, and she signed a
Ah.
thing.
Polaroid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about I give you that to post on the website for
You
this episode?
you could do that too.
Perfect.
Okay.
Are you wearing any embarrassing articles of apparel in that picture, or maybe
No,
not?
it's an old
Am I gonna
photo
have
of
to
me.
Photoshop this picture as well, just to protect your dignity?
No, there's nothing you'll need to Photoshop, but it is probably an embarrassing old photo of me from a cable conference 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay. One other thing that Eagle Moss has, I don't know if they'll have that there, but it is a shop exclusive. I don't know, Dave, if you've seen this, but that is Matt Jeffries' original concept for the shuttlecraft.
Oh, really?
Just kind of cool. If they have that to show,
that's cool.
if they have that to show, I want to bag one of those. Totally impractical, but very, very cool looking. So,
I have packed up almost 99% of my Eagle Moss stuff and put it in the closet. So I have my signed Enterprise out, and I have my 2 Vipers out, and everything else got packed
I
up.
love
put away.
them. I have a case just basically that's mostly got Eagle Moss in it, but I love the ships anyway.
Yeah.
so
I love
just
them
keeping
too. I
the-
just,
the
you know.
Enterprise things.
I run out of room for stuff, so.
I understand.
Yeah, that's a problem. And with that, I'm pulling the plug.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.